In my opinion, the XLOOKUP function is something of a game changer for Excel. Many Excel users are familiar with VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. However, both of these functions require the data to be structured in a particular way, and both have to specify, either by using additional formulae or even worse by hardwiring, the row or column number of the return data, and please see my other videos for a more detailed explanation of the issues that can bring. Those experienced modelers amongst you will probably already be using a combination of index and match functions. However, although it may be totally obvious to you what this combination is doing, I've had a few clients who, despite a thorough explanation, just don't get it. With that in mind, XLOOKUP might just change the way that you play. So what does XLOOKUP do? In its most simplistic form, it achieves the same thing as traditional V and HLOOKUP functions. It returns a value from a table of data. In this session, we're going to look only at the basic use of the XLOOKUP function. In later sessions, we'll look at some of the more advanced functionality on offer. Okay, so the basic functionality requires three input parameters: the lookup value, the lookup range, essentially the range in which the user is looking for the lookup value, and finally the return range, essentially the range that contains the output values that correspond to the lookup value. Today we will use a very simple example of a table that shows temperatures in Fahrenheit, in Celsius and in Kelvin. Our lookup value will be in Celsius. The lookup range will be column E, which contains our Celsius values, and the return range will be column D, which contains our Fahrenheit values. As mentioned elsewhere, you couldn't have done this using VLOOKUP, as the return range is to the left of the lookup range. So we write our formula to look up our Fahrenheit values, equals XLOOKUP. We refer to our lookup value in cell D2. We refer to our lookup range in cells E6 to E16, and we refer to our return range in cells D6 to D16. Let's put a different value in rather than 0. We'll try 5, and you'll see that Excel scans down column E, it finds my input value, and then it picks up the equivalent value in the Fahrenheit column, the same position, yeah? And we could try that for a different value too. I don't know, let's try 7 or something, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, you can see it's picking the same value in the corresponding place. Now, one of the differences, say, between this and VLOOKUP is that if you remember from my other video, there was a problem if I inserted or if I changed my columns. So let's just move this column. Let's just insert that there. Makes no difference whatsoever to my values. Yeah? Perfect. Okay, so for those battle-hardened models, I should say, and just as a check, I've also included the index match combination in cell D19. As you can see there, index, I'm looking for these values, where I'm matching my input value in my Celsius values. I think the whole point here is that this single XLOOKUP function might just be that little bit more transparent to the end user. And there you have it. XLOOKUP, at least in its most basic form. Please look out for my other videos.